what can I say? Another great show for those of us in the diaspora and the Pan African world. And I say the diaspora family and the diaspora communities across the globe, indeed. Um, I'm so grateful that this particular show, we've got Leonard colleague of Nana Asibe, who will be waiting in the wings, and I'll be introducing him very shortly. And my other Leonard colleague in the person of Awudu Ademu, of course, very sacrificial, should I say, fish indeed, or should I say shepherd? Yeah, because Ademu has actually put himself in place for a dedication that I've never seen before. From the onset of Africa Radio, the first Pan-African radio station serving the Black and the Pan-African community in London, United Kingdom, and across Europe and the global world. And Ademu is still going strong. So is Nabatibe. It's been there. Sacrificial services, not because of money, but because of the love of Mother Africa, the Black man and woman, and Pan-Africanism, just to get it right for the sake of humanity. Today we'll be looking at some of the issues. Why can't the African get it right? And why can't the Black man get it right? And this show, don't forget, it's not about color, it's about humanity. And it's also about multiculturalism, inclusiveness, and unity. Because it's a diverse world. We're all married to different people, different race, different colors. So this is the epitome of a media flagship, catering for the whole global world with a Pan-African multiculturalism, inclusiveness, and of course, humanity in perspective. Don't forget once again to like, to, of course, share and subscribe. So many a million can be part of this information, education, and enlightenment. Africa can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say hello to you, our noble audiences across the globe. Let me welcome Nana Asibe. Nana Asibe, welcome.
Hi. Yes. And welcome to Ghana too.
Yes, Nana Asibe is one of us in London. He is now in Ghana for one or two family issues, which he is attending to. So, Nana, we welcome you once again. And thank you so much for joining us as usual. Because you are in Ghana, but you are not Ghanaian. You can be in Ghana, I don't care. All your adult life has been in London and Europe and abroad. But the Ghanaian blood is still in you. We are grateful that you never forget. Nana, we thank God you never forgot the land.
Ghana is so sweet.
Yes. Okay. Until next, say it's here for Nana Asibe, our head of Akan News, Akan Analysis, news from the Akan angle. Is now visiting Ghana, and we are grateful to have him with us. Let me go straight and welcome our intelligentsia, academia, our, one of the, sacrificial lamb. That's how I have to refer to Adams. Adams, you've been there from the days of Africa Radio to the days of the rebranding of Voice of London Radio and Voice of London Television. Welcome to the show, Adams.
Thank you very much, Nana, and thank you for putting up this great, wonderful platform.
Yes, and I would like the audiences to know that our guests, special guests, technocrats are just granting selfless service. Selfless service. Look at the time. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, you call them and they are right there. No hesitation. Why? The love of the motherland. Grateful. So, Nana Sibe, any
Hello.
other? Yes. Mumami Fa, one of the international news, a couple of them. Nefe Yaba, a year Pan African, a year Ghana news, maybe. Near Shenyame Koko Kosono, near Yede Chat Yahukakra. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me go straight and look at this interesting bulletin coming from, of course, as we all know, the United States of America. We had the presidential of the American presidency, and right about 4 weeks or a month after that, we had the Ghanaian elections. So it tells you that America being the superpower of the world, even though we know some people might say, well, probably China has overtaken them. Why am I saying that? Because I watched a little piece of a documentary where you have the International Space Station, and China was actually refused to join the International Space Station. But then you have most of the other countries of the world, especially the European countries and America and Russia. Russia actually got the International Space Station, the ISS, going, and for 9 years, they were actually taking the Americans to the International Space Station, because remember the shuttle disaster, so America suspended their space travel in terms of humans traveling to space. So Russia's Soyuz was taking them into space for 9 good years before SpaceX, our own very SpaceX, came into being to change the narrative. This particular show is a show where we look at issues from a different angle. We make sure we inform, we educate, and we enlighten with facts, not innuendos, intricacies, and speculations, but fact-based analysis, and that is what we do here. All right, so let me take those couple, and then I'll be going back to Tanasibe and Ademu. And Tanasibe, before I go with the Ebruchemu news, I'm a bit jealous of you, because I can see the way you are relaxed, Tanasibe. It seems that you've had your fufu and a bem kwine be sabi. Ademu, oh, the way Tanasibe I say, if I relax it, pa.
Odine hine o Ghana de okwa odi hine o na oba anu abebre.
Ani yi sɛ ma wɔ mu ne sɛ mekɔ yie mewɔ nkran na meba yie no yie na se medi fufuo medi mo medi nneɛma bebree ɛnnɛ koraa no a ɛyɛ yie no ne yɛnkontabuo no koraa no fufuo kɔ hɔ enti mabrɛ ana mesɛ na me last akonnwa mu
me pesa and your fin I'll be ruling your fish and chips and the never we go a year to know ube kafufu and a wedding day a year.
Ani system baako kora wɔ mu sɛ ɛnɛ yɛn kase nua ye strength me call no hɔ kɔhwehwɛ no wonum sɛ ɔsɛ ɔno ne ba ma no ngɔre bobi ase Ghana ni ana ne ba bɛ ware Ghana ni na me kɔɛ sɛ nea wɔsia relax dada kɔnwam na from maybe born home was Ghana de
actually say winter no na onsambra ebe no na awo no onfa kuntunda no hu nyansa Ghana ede
adeɛ baako kora wɔ mu ne sɛ ne ka sɛ ɔno wɔsi Ghana de no wakyini nkran wonum sɛ no a okɔdware efum okɔsi show owie ɔkɔ frɛsɛ paps ɔha ni nyinaa kɔdi show saa na sɛnea wɔsi afa nkran abɔ no menyi ni sɛ ɔbɛba bio ɛnna me kɔɔ no hɔ no ɔsɛ ɔkyena ɔne me bɛkɔ Kumase na ɔkɔ akɔhwɛ hɔ na ɔkɔtenatena hɔ no one say ni hositiye, no one Ghana environment. Na fe wo hunu say owie so fa ni nua school so ba hwehwe ha bi. Na won so hunu say Ghana de pa. Nti say de nani abere o ha pa.
The radias say which Ako Ghana nani baba eware Ghana niya nani ade. So ladies and gentlemen, literally what we are saying is that our veteran account news host and head of our programs on Voice of London Radio and Voice of London TV in London, United Kingdom, and across the global world in the person of Lanasi Bay. He's now in Ghana, and then visited one of our crew engineers, our visual engineer, talking about G String. G String is in Ghana. The daughter is marrying a Ghanaian guy, so he has to go. And I'm happy both of them happen to be in Ghana and they've met. So that's what Nanasibe was telling us. So if you are watching us, that was that part of that bit of the conversation that went on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is a conversation and interaction. Okay, so let me go straight and take a couple of the headlines, and then I'll come to my learned colleagues, and then we can digress. Okay, happening across the globe. Let me take this one. Live from the Middle East, we know Hamas and Israel have been locked up in a serious, should I say a war, or should I say a confrontation? How will I describe it? Okay, let me say a confrontation. Okay, so Hamas suspends hostage releases. Israel says military now on highest alert. So that is coming from the Middle East, and as usual, the issues coming from the Middle East is a bit sensitive. So I'm not going to go into it in total. We are waiting to see if there can be a serious ceasefire and an end to the various confrontations that is going on there. Okay, let's turn our attention to the United States of America. Now we have key U.S. trade partners nervously wait for Trump to reveal new tariff. As you all know, Trump has been putting tariffs on China, Canada, other countries. So he suspended the Canadian tariff. He's now brought it back. It was a 90 days period, as we heard. The news are flying left and right. And so we await that bit. So those of you, our fervent listeners, audiences globally, we need to know what is happening around us from the Pan-African and the diaspora angle. And the only way you can keep up with the whole news items, analysis, digestion, and diluting, titrating, and correcting these news items for your understanding is only on Voice of London Television, which is voltv.co.uk. Once again, don't forget, you can get us on our main channel, voltv.co.uk, and also all our social media handles, Facebook, YouTube, including Instagram, and then TikTok, including the great X. All right, let me pick another two more international headlines, and then we can go to the Pan-African world and see what is happening. Saudi PhD student freed after being jailed over posts, that is activists say. So this is another of the international news. Romania president resigns after impeachment pressure over cancelled votes. So this is how the Europeans take things very serious. Romania crew. The president has resigned because now in Crofon elections new votes to be a baby. resign. Somebody else can take the mantle. Can this really happen in Africa? Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa? Absolutely not. So this is the only platform and channel that can bring you solid constructive dialogue and constructive criticism for the betterment of the Pan-African and humanity. Okay, I continue unabated with the international news. Macron, or should I say Macron, whatever the French president's name is, shares his deep fakes for AI summit attention. This is an interesting one. We all know we have the DeepSeek, yes, which is the AI version, which China has released. Now we are saying Macron of France is bringing what we call the deep fake. That's another interesting one. We'll have time with our learned colleagues to talk about Europe and the international world in another show. But tonight, we're only giving you tidbits of the international headlines. And of course, we'll be going into with the Pan-African headlines. Yes, I have let me introduce another colleague who has just joined us in the person of G-String. G-String, George, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my brother. Nice to be here.
Nana Sibe is online live with us, and Mr. Adams is also live with us. And Nana Sibe said to me earlier on, you two met and you had a fantastic time.
We had a lovely meeting earlier, yes.
Yes, and you were supposed to go to Kumasi tomorrow, but you have rescheduled that trip.
I'm going to have to reschedule it. I'm going to have to make my own way up there on Tuesday because I have some business.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you are enjoying the Ghanaian and African fufu, yam, plantain, and all that lot.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm enjoying everything here to do with Ghana.
And look at the way you are looking fresh. We are waiting for you so that you come back and the snow will bite you very well. That is what we are waiting for you.
I'm home, man, so I'm cool.
Of course, Nana, when I saw G today, I was shocked. I couldn't recognize him.
He was looking too
fresh. The Ghanaian flavor was all over.
Yes.
I look different when I'm at home, you see.
All right, so welcome to the show, G. As I was saying, I'm looking at the international news and I was looking at one or two headlines before we go into the African discussions so that we can find holistic solutions in having a lasting solution to the plight of Mother Africa. So we spoke about Trump and his tariffs. We are now looking at Trump's his policy for the Middle East. He says that no right of return for Palestinians under the Gaza plan. This is what Trump is saying. This is another controversial headline. We'll look at it in another show. Okay, let's move on. We have South Africa mounts pioneering female nuclear scientists. And so South Africa used to have a nuclear power. Unfortunately, that is no more. That's another topic. We'll plan for that. So we have a lot of issues to discuss. You can't get it anywhere. Only on Voice of London Television, the VOL TV, the VOA Voice of American version, right here, serving humanity to the maximum. All right, so there's a story about South Africa law at center of Trump rule challenged in courts. That will be on another segment. And finally, Trump defends Elon Musk and says the dodgy or the doggy, whatever is DOGE, will look at military spending. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me go straight now so that we can look at the Pan-African news items, because the motherland is so dear to our hearts. Once again, Voice of London TV is all about Pan-Africanism, the diasporans, and of course, multiculturalism, inclusiveness, love, unity, and humanity. So let's go straight and look at some of the great items that is coming from that part of the world. I've also got one of our reporters who will be looking at the entertainment and sports segment. That is Sir Obed, who will be joining us very shortly. So I think Obed is on the line. Grateful to have Obed. As soon as I mention his name, he's already on the line. So let's go straight to welcome Obed. Obed, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. And
Yes.
if you will permit me, I'll quickly run through my stories and get everybody updated.
Okay,
So
let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure. This evening, I have a mixture of entertainment and sports, as I always do. So we'll talk about the tragic incident that has shaken the Ghanaian football community, then followed by some development on the ongoing feud between Ghana's dancehall artist, Shatawale and Stoneball.
Right.
Now let's get into the football story. Now, this story is quite disturbing, and it has really exposed a lot of issues that surrounds our league, and it's a wake-up call. This could be an opportunity for the sports administrators to sit up, because the stabbing of Francis Yao Frimpong, popularly known as Pole, is a devoted Asante Kotoko fan. Now that incident occurred on 2nd February 2025 at Nana Kramansa, the second park. It was a match between Asante Kotoko and Insotraman FC. Initially, a lot of people thought that the stabbing incident happened in the stadium, but reports coming out after suggest that the incident actually happened outside the stadium. Now, I just want to give some of the points that led to the stabbing and everything, because a lot of, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of issues, a lot of people say a lot of things, and I was trying to get the most authentic stuff to share here. So, news items coming in and out. A lot of reports about Pole on several stations having spoken about some stadia or some parks where the fans are not welcoming, especially when their side is losing. Now, after the stabbing incident, as I mentioned last week, of course, there's going to be investigation, which the IGP has launched a full-scale investigation. But so far, the autopsy revealed that a 7.5 inches deep wound into his heart, leading to a significant blood loss. This is according to the autopsy report received so far. Now, during the match itself, there were a lot of incidents. I mean, a lot of fans throwing in objects onto the pitch, spectators storming the field. In fact, Asante Kotoko's goalkeeper was assaulted during the chaos. And as I mentioned some few days ago, this incident has really shaking the whole security situation when it comes to football in Ghana. I mean, I remember a situation like that between Asante Kotoko and Accra as a folk some years back.
Yeah, that was
I
the
think
ninth. That was
May,
the
May
ninth.
9th.
Incident.
Yeah, May 9th incident. It was really bad. But we thought we'd learn lessons. We thought we have beefing up security. We thought we've closed all the angles and ticked all the boxes so that incidents such as this ones will not happen. But unfortunately, it has resurfaced,
Mm.
and it is a good call that
Yeah.
the GFA has suspended the next round of league matches
Okay.
pending the full investigation. And I mean, the IGP wants to assure police family and Asante Kotoko leadership that a thorough investigation is undergoing, and hope that it will find the perpetrators and then
Yeah.
do whatever it can in its ways to prosecute and then at least find. Of course, once the person is dead, it's difficult to bring him back to life, but at
Sure.
least we could use this opportunity to correct some of the wrongs and
Yeah.
then forge forward. It's unfortunate, and we all feel for the family, and we hope such a thing doesn't reoccur in the future. It's a really sad situation. But as I promised, we have a cocktail of entertainment and sports. I don't want to waste too much time. Let me get into the entertainment side of things, where we have Shatawale and Stoneboy again. Now let's shift the gears straight into it. Now, this beef or this feud between the Ghanaian dancehall heavyweight Shatawale and Stoneboy continues to dominate the headlines, and this rivalry has been there for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's comparable to what Vice Cartel and Movado had in Jamaica, and you can understand the culture of the dancehall sort of gets this live or breathes when you have some of these beefs going on. I think the problem is how it is managed, because where they have this tension or where they have these beefs going on and it's managed properly, it has an effect on streaming numbers. It has effect on getting more shows, increasing their revenues, and then they getting opportunities. But let me
Yeah.
take you back to some of the tensions in 2019 during
Yeah.
the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards.
Yeah.
There was a physical altercation that led to a ban of both of them from the event, and then they faced some legal consequences. Now, I want to pick the sides of both, and then the audience can judge who is doing right and who is doing wrong, and then just get everybody informed. So Stoneboy has expressed his desire to avoid the fate similar to Vice Cartel's incarceration, emphasizing peace and unity. He always says this. However, sometimes he would downplay, especially there are times where he will say this, and then when the adrenaline kicks in interviews, and the presenters push, and they push just getting the presenters, they want juice, they want some information to get the shows going, so sometimes they press them so much, and then the stuff happen. Now, a good example is the Vice Cartel Freedom Concert. Now, Shatawale is the only Ghanaian who was invited to the show in Jamaica, which is a significant milestone in his career, because it's something he's been talking about for a very long time. Now, because Stoneboy, who is his rival, wasn't invited, in an interview, the impression was created that, it is not any big thing. It's just going to be a curtain raiser. It's not a big thing, so nobody should celebrate such a feat. However, the fans disagree. It wasn't a curtain raiser. Of course, we all saw the performance, and I leave it for the audience to, or whoever saw the performance, to judge whether it was a good performance or it could have been done better. But some of the things that went backstage was that Stoneboy's manager, Black City, was spotted supporting Shatawale in Jamaica, which sparked further discussions because, this is his former manager being seen supporting a rival artist way in Jamaica, a show that seemed to put him in a light to suggest that, of course, when he says the dancehall king of Ghana and Africa, then you need to believe. So it really sparked a lot of conversation, and people were like, no, this shouldn't be the case. Even if you've stopped working with him, you know it is his rival. You shouldn't go support him. So it gets the internet buzzing. And of course, when these things happen, when the jabs happen during social media interviews and radio, television, it actually brings them jobs. It actually brings them some good numbers on the streaming because after the Shatawale show in Jamaica, we saw on social media a lot of Jamaicans who didn't know anything about Shatawale and Stoneboy now following them, which is good. And like I'm saying, with the dancehall culture, the idea of beef is good. It is how you manage it so that it doesn't escalate or degenerate into something that you cannot manage, because sometimes the artists know what they are doing. The fans are not able to distinguish between business, showbiz, and hatred. So sometimes
I totally agree with you on there, because when we look back at America, we have incidents like the Tupac and the Biggie Small issue,
the
East and West Coast one that led to deaths, you know. And then we have recently as well these notorious guys from Chicago, young boys who have become gangsters, killing people and all those things. So we hope that the Ghanaian ones will be more, calm in terms of the rest of Africa, so that we don't have deaths, because sometimes the fans can take it to a different level.
That is the problem. The fans are not able to differentiate between the business, the show business, and then the hatred. I mean, they think that once the fans or the artists they support feels disrespected, then they need to take the law into their own hands and start making noise. But they forget that these things actually bring these artists food to their table.
Absolutely.
This actually brings
hype. It creates a hype.
Exactly, and people want to see them. People in Jamaica, I'm sure Stoneboy has been in Jamaica a couple of times on shows with Morgan Heritage and all that. But those who didn't see him at that time, because of this Shatawale show, will come and see him now. So it is important that as these beefs happen, we are able to manage it and manage it properly. Now, the last bit of it, which is quite funny, is that on an interview when Shatawale was in Jamaica, Stoneboy kept making the point that he didn't believe that he was really built on the show, and they called him settings man. In Ghana, when we say you are settings man, it means that you don't tell the truth. You can just create an atmosphere and then make it look like it's going to rain, but you've gone up there and you're just spilling water. So you create a scene and make it look like something is going to happen, But it's just you making stuff up.
We also heard that Stoneboy made a remark saying that Satawale is only going to warm up Vibes Cartel's show as
exactly as a curtain raiser, but it wasn't so. And this one, in another interview, he did say that he's a settings man and spoke about a Rolls Royce that Shatawale has been speaking about that he's going to buy. And Stone said, "Well, I told you the guy's a settings man. He said he's going to buy a Rolls Royce. It's been so many months. There's no Rolls Royce. Just 2 days ago, the Rolls Royce came."
That's great.
Shatawale's Rolls. Yeah.
Satawale unveiling the Rolls Royce.
Yeah. So now it's like, well, you said I couldn't do it. Now I've done it. And then the first are asking, well, if you say it's a settings man, now he's brought his Rolls Royce. Where's yours? That's where we are now.
Well, that's an interesting, of course, happenings back in Ghana, part of the Pan-African sports and entertainment with our pop audio visual engineer and reporter for us in the diaspora and Europe and America in the person of Sir Oben. We thank you so much, Sir Oben.
Thank you too. Thank you
for the report. Okay, so keep compiling the sports and entertainment for our worldwide audiences, millions of them, so that they will feel that Voice of London TV and then our sister station, Voice of London Radio, that takes the feed from the TV, will enjoy the shows, information, education, entertainment, and enlightenment to the maximum. Thank you once more, Sir Oben, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but Oben, before you go, I've got some of our Londoners in Ghana. We've got G-string, and not women G-string. I'm talking about guitar string.
I didn't say that.
And then we have Nana Asibe, head of our campus.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, Eben, I'll make sure you go and collect your payo from them before they leave Ghana. Yeah. So we talk behind the scene. They shouldn't just spend all the pounds before they come back. You need to get your payo. Okay.
Nice one.
All right then. Okay. Nice talking to you.
Thank you very much. I'll sign off here.
It's a pleasure.
I would like to give a short comment about what Obed just said.
Okay, go on.
These things normally happens, like the football and the entertainment scene. One person can create an atmosphere that will bring war.
That's true.
You see, this happened in Rwanda. There was a female presenter who said something, and it provoked the whole nation.
Yeah.
And brought Hutus and Tutsis into war, killing a lot of people.
Millions of people talking about the genocide. Yeah, it was about the plane crash of the then president, and then went on there.
Now you see about the football.
Yeah.
What I heard was that there was a lady. The gentleman was on live on radio, and they were discussing. And you see, if Kotoko and another team comes to, especially on radio, there was one Kanewu, and he was a house. I think he's gone. He has died.
Okay.
Kanewu for us.
Yes.
And then Ali, I've forgotten the name.
Okay.
They were on radio every day discussing. And you see how they did it. There wasn't a war, but rather teasing one another. Especially when Has and Kotoko are going to play. But this time, it's not like that.
Ali Maradona.
Ali Maradona. Yes.
Now.
Yes. Good friend. They were very good friends. But when it comes on radio, you see Kanewu teasing Maradona, and Maradona also teasing Kanewu. And it was very interesting when they meet together. But this time, I understood that there was a woman who brought all these chaos. And what he said provoked
she's called Akosia China.
yes.
Okay.
What he said provoked the supporters of Shatraman.
Now,
And how
Nana
yeah,
Sibi, the
yeah,
Ghanaian society has changed upside down.
yeah.
Early 2000 and late 90s, we had a decent and a civilized society in Ghana where we tolerate each another. Today, Ghana has changed for the worse. So if you try to do what Ali Maradona and Kanawu did, it will still have degenerated into these problems. What we
Mhm.
need to do is the Ghana government should ensure that NCC should have enough funding to embark upon serious education to bring back the good old days of Ghana. We should try and accommodate each other's view. Now
Yeah.
Ghanaians don't speak like Ghanaians anymore. We talk like aliens. We talk non-Ghanaians. We were very gentle humans. Now we behave like donkeys, which of course is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
A
When you
Ghanaian will
mention,
scream to each other. We never
yeah,
used to speak like that. When a Ghanaian is speaking, the third person wouldn't have heard what the two people were discussing. We were like middle class or upper class English. They learnt it from us. They copied it from us. But now, where are we going? We're going like those who were taken and we are in some wilderness and we are not cultured. Or it's not nice. Listen to your media. When the media is the window of a country. So if
yeah,
you have a decent media, you know the people in the country is decent. In any way, what happened in Rwanda, any country, there is one way or the other an event that changed the dynamics of the country. The
that's true.
genocide that happened in Rwanda has
Yes, at
changed
the moment,
Rwanda.
Obed wanted to come in. Obed, go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a short comment. And when he did make mention that the government should task the NCC and then get them enough funding and all that, you will realize that this behavior has transcended into even our politics. And in fact, it is even worse because if it is supposed to be a contest of ideas, if you cast your mind back, the kind of things that used to happen and what is happening now is shameful. So when the idea or when the task is given to the politician to find answers, I wonder if they have the answers because they are the very ones
No,
who will instigate these people. Go and do it. Go and do it. We need to win this thing. And then when it happens, they go back. No, no, stop it. They are
the,
saying stop it, yet they are telling their people, "Omoba, I know money. Yeah, remember." You see that kind of a thing.
the NCCA is not any political wing, National
No, I know.
Civic
No,
Education.
oh, I know. What
NCCA.
I'm saying is, I know. What I'm saying is that if you are, of course, they've been going around with their systems, saying whatever they need to say, but we still have these politicians and their
Yeah.
tabs running amok. Yesterday they are here, today they are there, they are all over the place.
The only
And
thing
this
is,
politician,
one thing is the judiciary has not done anything good in the advent of our fourth republic. You see, because the politicians have managed to destroy the judiciary, especially a point in reference when Mr. Kufuor overturned the ruling of the judiciary, the first time in the history of the fourth republic. So we've now realized that the judiciary has now been dependent on the executive, which of course it should have
Okay.
been, it should be different
Point
thing.
noted. Let me
So
go.
our country is
Let me
now
go to
polarized.
G.
We need to bring things
G
back.
has been very patient. G has been very patient and listening to all the salient points that you are all making for the betterment of the black man and for the betterment of Pan-Africanism and the black man. G, should entertainment, when it comes to the musicians, and sports, when it comes to the footballers and the athletics and all those things, generates into such a passion, instead of being a passion for good, generates to become a passion for evil. G, let's go. G, can you hear me?
Unmute yourself. Unmute. He should unmute himself.
G, can you hear me?
Sorry, I was muted and I've unmuted myself.
Yeah, I was saying that you've been very patient waiting in the wings. And I'm saying that with your experience, which, transpires across the global world, and you being in the entertainment industry, in the thick of it, why should sports and entertainment, and then the music scene, the football scene, become so passionate and become a passion of evil and killings and death, instead of being a passion for good, entertainment, laughter? G, let's go.
A lot of people believe the hype, you see. In the music industry, okay, right, going back to the early days when you had Prince Jasper, and I-Rai, they were the first two that I know of who clashed, who had a difference of opinion, and they used to put out music against each other. Yeah, but back in them days, it was clean. It wasn't making you want to attack your brother and sister, even though you picked a side which you like. Yeah, it wasn't. The rhetoric wasn't violent. But nowadays, a lot of these social media platforms, and it's all about creating the hype, because the more hype you create, is the more people's gonna come and want to watch. Yeah, but some of the people who are your fans have got very small intelligence. Yeah, so what they see, they believe. They can't see it's just a ploy to get more ticket sales. Yeah, they believe a lot of what they see. A lot of people believe what they see.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, let's leave the sports and then
So I wanted to conclude what I was about to say.
Okay, go on, Anasibe.
Yeah, you see, radio or media has become a tool that can destroy, and at the same time it can heal.
Yeah.
You see, the two things we are talking about football, and then about Satawales and others, who are hyping it? Is it not the media? And you see, anything the media says, people believe it. Let's talk about the news. You see, when someone is on the news and bring out news, anything that the person says, people believes. Oh, didn't you hear of saying the news was being broadcast, and you can see it was on the news.
It's true.
That
It was on the
what
news.
yes, that was what people will be saying. So the media should take the blame over all these things. I will say that on the football side, there was a discussion on the media that brought all this controversy.
Yeah.
That brought the controversy that Inshatiman should do something. And the leader of Inshatiman too is a politician.
Yeah.
And he was there. Yes, Bafoua is an MPP. It was a former minister.
Yeah.
And he was there.
Employment Minister, Ignatius Bafoua.
Yeah. He was there when the incident happened. Why? What did he told his members? Killing someone because of football, because of one goal,
it's very
because
sad.
of a win.
Very sad.
A life should be lost.
So,
and I think that happened to Shatawale and the Stone Boy. Who are those creating all these problems? Is it not the media?
Yeah, it's true.
The media does play a big role in what's going on.
I mean, yeah.
there should be rules and regulations, and every action should have a reaction, and responsibility should be borne by the perpetrators of this instance. For instance, the media that carried out that irresponsible reportage should be charged. Those who supported it and actuated perpetuated this heinous crime should be brought to task, and we should use it as an example to stop something drastic happening in the near future. So I think this is a perfect opportunity, even though we've lost a life. Every experience should be a way of finding a lasting solutions to yet unknown problems. So Ghana should use this as an example to carve a new laws and
in concluding on that part, you see, recently we all heard about what happened at Obuasi. When
those
people,
tags.
when people lost their lives, where did it came from? You heard that a media man was on there asking people to go to Obuasi, and they heard it and they went. And what happened? A lot of lives were lost.
Yeah.
So the media fraternity should be careful of their pronouncements. So all these things, I will blame the media.
I think
We should educate the media, the presenters, those who come on air. Now, in social media, people put on phones and other things, say something and post it, and that brings a lot of calamities in the world. The media,
no, I wanted to just share some experience. You know, sometimes, and when you say the media should be blamed, I agree, because I've been on a panel where, you know, it was an entertainment show and was supposed to answer some questions. Now, with my training and understanding of how social media works, I don't like to be used to create any buzz for any company when it's not a plan, like, you know. So let me explain further. So we're on the show, a question was asked, my colleague was answering, and the producers were urging me on to interject and to disagree and to shout. I'm like, why should I disagree when whatever he's saying makes sense to me? So no, that's the only way that the show is going to be hyped and people are going to come in.
Create a hype, which is
so basically they were looking for the sensationalism instead of fact.
I'm
what
telling
they don't
you,
understand
that is what is happening now.
What they don't understand is we have something we call the radio and television gold mine. The radio and television gold mine is created by the presenter or the moderator of the program. You use the intellect, you use the psychic of your panelist to create the gold mine. Therefore, if I am moderating a show and I want to have that sensationalism, I wouldn't ask my producers to tell a member of the panelists to interject when it is unnecessary. You see, that's why I'm saying that when you have a country that has lost the understanding of event, understanding of issues, and they haven't got what we call the standard, the minimum standard, that is what happens. Anything that anybody says or anybody does, because there is no regulation, there are no regulators, so they take it and run with it. We've ruined totally the fiber of our society, and everything is gone.
Yeah, Adamu, since we are looking at this particular issue on this particular show, it is a very informative, educative, and a very entertainment and enlightening show that we are having. And I think that we need to drum in, especially this flagship, okay? Because Voice of London TV, with our sister station, Voice of London Radio, which picks up the feed, reaching out to the global world, we need to drum in and educate the people that entertainment is to relax people and make people smile and enjoy the stress of their daily and weekly, monthly lives. That is what entertainment is there for. And it's the same with the sports, because sports is also entertainment. As a matter of fact, when you look at the British immigration system, anytime you mention entertainment, they attach sports with it. You understand? So that they see football, athletics, and all those areas of sports as entertainment to relax many a million at home after a stressful day or week.
So now you are right. You are right. Entertainment is not about relaxation only. Entertainment is a bigger factor of economic development. Entertainment is an element of economic development and exportation of a country's culture and dominance. Why is American dominating the whole world? America did not come to Ghana to tell you that we are superior, or they did not go to Middle East to tell you that they are superior. They use the Hollywood to tell everybody that, look, we are what we are. They use the Hollywood. The Caribbeans liberated themselves with what? Entertainment, exhibition of culture, exhibition of oneness, togetherness, one love. Let's get together as one. We will feel all right. Bob Marley made the whole Caribbean look what it is today. You see, so if you are able to follow your culture use the culture and then the entertainment aspect of the culture to sell your country. But unfortunately, the youth of today.
Adamu, to consolidate what you are saying, that is where the microeconomics comes in. And then we have the macroeconomy as well. Because you see, when you look at Ghana, yes, I was discussing this with one of our Doctor of Economics, Dr. Lawrence Akwete. And he said, look, Ghana has three major factors when it comes to development and growing the economy. He said the manufacturing sector, the service sector, okay, and then he mentioned the service sector, manufacturing sector, and then I think the export sector. Now, what he said was that when you look at the service sector, Ghana is abundant and making a lot of money from the service sector. And this is where the entertainment falls in. Okay, the services, the culture that you mentioned, in terms of the hotels, the entertainment, people coming to Ghana because of tourism.
Dirty December.
Exactly. So, of course, it's got its economic, effects. But then, when it comes to the manufacturing sector, we are negligible. We rather import instead of growing all the rivers that God has given Ghana and Africa. Good land.
You have all the resources, but you don't put them together.
Arable land. I mean, just look at the waters and look at the rains, the weather. In Europe, you can't. As I'm speaking now, we are engulfed in snow. The weather is so treacherous. Today, it was even horrible. It's been raining, freezing, with the freezing wind and all that. So we need to make sure we can get the manufacturing center. And I think I've got it right. The third one is the agro sector. The agro, you understand? That deals with the agriculture thing. So I think that these are very educative programs that we're having. And if we can turn things around, and then we can push this agenda to the government in power for them to make sure they don't sway and the money the state have doesn't go into individual.
Okay, seems like we've lost Nana for a second. Yeah, so what Nana was talking about is actually correct though, still, because we have to use our gifts, yeah, and our resources, to develop ourselves. And it's high time that we start to increase or develop our manufacturing capabilities, because we do have all what is needed leadership in that direction. We should have more people in work than we have in work at the moment. I was looking at the news today, and they were talking about a registry of people who are unemployed, and who are the proper job registry but independent. And I think it's a very good idea that they should have an independent body that actually monitors how many people are in work and how many people are getting work.
Yeah, the former housing minister suggested that. I'm sure from the experience they had in office, they think those reforms should happen. But one other thing that keeps me thinking is that every time we speak about why, let me use Ghana, why is Ghana importing this? Why is Ghana importing that? This thing we can produce here. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. But the little economics I studied, it is important you choose where you have advantage and not to spread yourself thin and then produce at a higher cost when somebody can produce the same thing next door and import for cheap. So I am saying, let us produce, but don't just produce just anything because we think we can produce it. Let us produce the things that we are best at so that we can produce them at cheaper cost. So that the things that we can produce at higher cost, but others can produce at lower cost, we import and then we export what we can produce at the lower cost. But it looks like anytime something comes up, oh no, we should be able to produce this. Anything, oh no, Ghana should be. I'm like, we can't do everything.
All right,
We can't do everything.
Noble gentlemen. On that note, I'm gonna end with what's his name, Oben, and then
I think I think Nana should give us a little chance on that.
We are going to
you see, the entertainment section
We need
has
an hour
got a lot of us.
extension.
Yes.
No, Nana. Please. I said we are going to run now because time is fast spent. I don't want us to overflow the time.
What I was trying to say is that you see, Mr. Adam said something.
The floor.
You see something. Mr. Adam said something that America better themselves through Hollywood.
This is not
and then
you are not this is not account news. You are not the host. Anyway, gentlemen, that's part of the sense of with great laughter, great show. But before we go, I'm going to give two minutes to each and everyone on the panelists tonight to round up. But please be brief.
Sure.
Because our engineer, Mr. Screw, is ready to fade anybody out if you overgo your time. Okay, sure. Nana Sibe, I see you are ready to kick, so go on.
Okay. I think Screw never kicked me out.
Nana, please, if you overgo his time, fade him out.
Okay, I'll talk about the Middle East and what the President Trump is trying to do. No, he says he's taking over the Gaza strips for himself, and he's going to build Gaza and take control over it. Now the question is he taking the land for himself, or he's building for the Palestinians? He's driving them away to where he said he's sharing them among Egypt and then I think Jordan. someone is in his own country, and they say, I'm taking that country and I'm driving you out. I'm going to build it and take it for myself. What does it mean? Is he having an alliance with Israel that after building it, he's going to give that portion to Israel? Now, look at how it just started. That the Palestinians have stopped the releasing of the hostages. And you see, the hostages, how they release them, Israel released hundreds and 200s, whilst the Palestinians released 4 or 3. When you think about the ratio. So I think Trump should calm down. He says, I've taken over Canada, Mexico, and now even in UK, still, he said he has put this on it. What does Trump want? How is he trying to change the world? What will he get? Or is that he has said that he want to make America great again, that is trying to bully the whole world?
Okay, now
That's
that's
my
a
question.
very important point you've raised there. It's a global issue, and I would like us to have another show for that particular one, because I can assure you that particular topic can take a lot of hours, if not days. So let's leave this one. At least you've mentioned and you've highlighted on some of the issues in the Middle East. That is fine. But let my other guests as well, our colleagues, touch on what we discussed today. Because where you went is very sensitive, and we can't just use 2 minutes to look at it. So let me go to G before coming to Adams and then Obed. Okay, G.
Okay. Well,
Please,
my outlook
G,
is this.
I'm not cutting you. I'm not cutting you. Don't go to the Middle East, because I know we'll spend the whole day not finishing this program.
No, I'm actually not even going to the Middle East. I'm just looking at the opportunities that is here for Africans. Yeah, should they decide to take the opportunities? Yeah, because leaving Trump alone, let him do what he's doing at the moment. I ain't worried about what Trump's going on. I'm worried about what's happening here on the ground in Africa. Yeah, and the development, okay, right, which we can bring for the young people. We want to stop the brain drain from Africa and use those brains what are leaving Africa every day. Yeah, as our students and these people who are trying to get across the sea to go and work elsewhere, because we have no infrastructure in Africa to employ them. Yeah, that's what my main concern is, really, to be honest with you. In my 2 minutes, I just want to highlight that there are so many millionaires in Africa, African millionaires, and they're not supporting the young people. Yeah, even you're talking about.
That is why, G, I'm gonna think that this is where leadership, because sometimes I keep saying that leadership in terms of the states has more money than individual millionaires. Because when you look at the state resources and the revenues that come to the state, in spite of its expenditure, there's nothing the state wants to embark on that it cannot. But you see, if they decide to siphon the money into their individual pockets, polytanks, and their various bedroom beds, under their bedroom beds and stuff, then we have an issue, because then the money gets into the hands of few people, and then many a million suffer. So it's a good point you are raising. We will be discussing this thing and finding a lasting solution, holistic solution to this thing, and moving these discussions to the very depths of the presidency. Let me go to Ademu before I come to Obed. I think we lost Ademu there. Adams. We lost Adam. So let's go to Obed.
Sure. Thank you very much. My entertainment and sports has sparked a lot of conversation today, which is good. My last comment would be that if we are trying to get people to understand what hypes are used for. In fact, marketing companies and people into marketing, we use some of these things to sell products. We use some of these hypes to draw attention. We use some of these hypes to extend the shelf life of products. However, when you overdo it, it becomes counterintuitive. You want to, for example, a song is released, or there's an album release, or there's a plan, a show coming up, and then you want to get the public, you want to get the audience, you want to get the fans talking. Sometimes the easiest way people will take is to just get a rival artist, and then somebody puts out a tweet, somebody says something, and then we get everybody talking. Unfortunately, that is what the promoters are looking at. That is what sponsors are looking at. The sponsors are looking at eyeballs. The sponsors are looking at ROI on their investment, which pushes artists and managers and anybody in the field to do things that ordinarily we will not do. But we are forced to do, because if we don't do, other person will do it, and they are going to get the opportunity to be sponsored. They are going to get the opportunity to sit at the table. So as we speak to artists, we speak to managers, we try to let people understand that there's no need to take beefs to the levels where you fight. It is also important that sponsors, marketing executives, people with the money, they should also understand that if they keep pushing, they will also be held liable if some of these things degenerate into the fights and into the chaos that we all don't want. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so it's been a great show. I would like to thank all you noble members for the time that you've spent, for those of us in the diaspora, to have such a show, bringing what is happening in the Pan-African communities and the diaspora world. We thank you so much. I mean, we are so grateful to you, and continue your selfless service. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors. That is Top Connect, the remittance company with negligible commission, the leading remittances company in the world. Top Connect. We also want to thank Waterhouse Solicitors for all your civil litigation and criminal litigation, including immigration advocacy. The calls are coming in, take it fast, but we are bringing the whole show to a close. And we would like to also thank the minister's musician, Evelyn Hart. She's having a fantastic Easter Saturday jam in London, somewhere in North London, at Foster Road, CTK Buildings, N17, 6QD. We'll bring you the details. And so we are ready to also help our small-scale businesses, including the large ones, expose them and give them an opportunity to sell their product as well. Once again, noble gentlemen, thank you so much, and we'll be talking again. Bless you all, and shalom.
All right.
Yes. 1 minute.
Yet to see